Savor your food to savor your life.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? That's what we're going to be talking about in
Get Real with the English
Sisters this
Sisters.
week. Please do subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, because it makes such a difference to us, doesn't it?
Makes enormous difference to us, and we really want to spread the news. Spread the news about all the topics that we talk about, and hopefully our ultimate desire is to actually help as many people as we can.
Absolutely.
So we actually found out that our podcast listeners are from, like, there was an average age that the we got, wasn't there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so there were, you know, it was like
So
from.
thank you.
So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for you listeners out there. And so let's get cracking then. So what's it about today?
So, from wherever you're listening, let's savor this episode to the full.
To the fullest.
And what does that mean, actually, to savor things? We love doing that, don't we?
We do. I actually find.
It's our speciality.
Yeah, like this morning we bought some special treats because it's a, you know, it was a special day for us.
Yes, we were celebrating.
We were celebrating.
Our podcast.
Yeah. And we actually thought, okay, we're going by. We went to the bakery.
Well, it was like a coffee shop, but they do
Yeah.
bake.
No, it's they actual.
They
It's
make them there, don't
Yeah.
they?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a real bakery.
Do they actually? Is there a chef there that
Of
bakes?
course there is.
Pastry
In the
chef.
back. There's a massive pastry chef. They prepare all their goods.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they make all the pizza dough, everything. I've seen them, yeah, and then all the baked
Did
bread
they make it from scratch?
from scratch.
So there's none of this like artificial products there.
Well, look, I haven't gone into the big details of it, but it's a
This is your
bakery.
local one, isn't
Yeah, it's a panificio shop where they make bread. It's a bakery, and it's also
They
a
have their own-
patisserie.
They have their own specialities there, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So they're very proud of it, aren't they?
They are. Well, I don't know if they are, but I hope so. They're always.
Well, they look pretty chuffed with themselves.
They're pretty happy, yeah. And so we went there, but so we had one little treat, and we shared
it's
it.
like a cornetto. It's a bit like a brioche. It's the equivalent of an Italian brioche.
A bit like a croissant, but it had this like lovely.
It's not the cornetto ice cream.
Oh no, it's a baked.
It's a baked pastry.
It's more
a bit
similar-
like a croissant or brioche.
Yeah, like a croissant. Yeah, but it's got like cream in it, custard cream.
And we took a long time to decide which one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We were
So
looking at all of them for quite a while.
I think that's where the idea came from about savouring
but that's
the
the
food.
idea. The idea is not just to jump into things quickly, to take your time and decide, what do I fancy? And as we were looking, as I was looking at each, they had the donuts with the chocolate in. I was imagining eating one. I was thinking, I don't fancy all that Nutella.
Yeah,
chocolate.
no, we didn't want the chocolate one.
No. And then
Bit heavy.
the next one, I was thinking, what would that taste like?
The pistachio one.
I don't like pistachio
No.
much. I'm going
We took such a long time. I think the lady was thinking, "Come on, get on with it. It's summer.
To be
It's
fair,
hot."
We were not keeping her from her work.
there was nobody else there.
There was
Yeah.
no one there, and she was preparing our coffees for us.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have wanted to hold her back while we were deciding. But what I mean is that it's this whole visual experience before we actually ate the thing.
Yeah, you're
So
right about that.
added so much. I can visualize all those beautiful pastries and cakes there now.
Yeah, me too.
So
yeah.
that adds a lot of enrichment and experience to my life, as it probably does to yours.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think I've always kind of done that with food, but I think sometimes we can forget to do that.
Yeah.
Because of our lives.
It's because
and our
of
habits.
this rush lifestyle.
Do you think so?
Yeah. So I think, if you are going to go and treat yourself, as we say, treat, because obviously they're not things you're going to be wanting to eat every day.
No,
if you're,
no.
concerned about your health. They're like special occasion things. So
Yeah. Sweets
and treats and
cakes.
and things that have got all the extra
sugar,
in that you wouldn't normally be wanting to eat, maybe. And if you do savor it, I think you really enjoy it. And then sometimes you'll find that you don't enjoy it that much. You don't want any more of it as
You
well.
get fuller faster
The one
because
today I did enjoy a lot.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, but we had some in the UK recently, which I did not enjoy.
No, I know.
And I thought they would be nicer than what they actually were.
Yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. But yes, I think the more you savour it, the fuller you become mentally as well as physically, because your stomach has a kind of intelligence and it understands.
There's actually been scientifically proven. It's the same as if you imagine something, your brain cannot really tell the difference between imagination. I'm laughing because I'm thinking, someone will say, I can tell the difference.
Yeah,
Using some experience.
I sure know if I've eaten it or if I haven't eaten it.
But it's actually true. And do you remember we were on...
Definitely.
when we used to help people that used to overeat, we would say to them, obviously, please don't do this if you're under-eating. I mean, that's a warning. That this is not for you, this thing. But if you want to savor something, just by imagining that you're eating it beforehand, you will actually imagine it, and it's almost as if you are eating it.
Yeah. And then you can think, I'm not that bothered anyway.
Yes. That's if you don't want it. But like today, we enjoyed it thoroughly, and we've still got one we brought home, which we're going to eat later.
Because we've savoured it.
Yeah.
So we're like
I'm still looking
saving
forward
it.
to that.
Sorry, I mean savor. We're like savouring and saving, at the same time. Are you still looking forwards to it?
I'm looking forwards to it.
Yeah, I'd almost forgotten about that.
No, I hadn't.
Oh, because you really wanted a special cake.
And it was funny because my hubby said to me, you sure do. You and your sister, you love cakes and biscuits and things. You're always looking for the sweet treats as you go around. And then I looked at him and I looked at his breakfast today. And honestly, this is no
so many
joke.
Sweets.
He had 4 little cereal kind of biscuits that's supposed to be healthy.
Yeah,
they're not
they're
really.
Supposed
they're
to
full
be,
of
but they're
sugar.
loaded with sugar.
A muffin, a little muffin.
Gosh,
it was like
okay.
like what you would think of a muffin in the UK or in America, because it was like an Italian muffin, and another light little cake. And I
So
said,
he had
I
all
said
that
to him,
sugar,
I said,
yeah.
honestly, that's what we wouldn't even have that in a week.
No.
You're just having it for breakfast. No wonder you don't go around looking for sugar. And he said, oh, this is nothing. I'm going running later. We didn't even say that, but I can imagine in his head he thought of it.
Because he likes running, yeah.
I mean, he's fit and everything, but I think how long can he get away with all this sugar? Because it's just really not healthy, as we all know.
No.
It does cause a lot of problems for some
No, your
people.
blood sugar levels are important to become aware of.
Yeah, and they can affect your mood so much as well. So it's not only just about weight control and everything. It's also about healthy
definitely.
mood. What
You
you
have
put
those.
in your body.
You can
Really does affect you, doesn't it?
absolutely affect your mood, your emotional, how you're feeling. Gosh, it can affect you so much.
Yeah, and that's bringing to mind about that lady that saw us when we were at a conference, and she said, how do you stay fit? Can I just ask you ladies how you stay fit? And I thought, well, how do we stay fit? Well, we do. We try and do. I mean, I do a little bit of weight training and
you're good at that. I have.
But it's not really that much. I hardly ever get to 10,000 steps in the end.
Really?
But I try.
I thought you would.
Do. Well, sometimes if I'm more, but like now it's summer, I don't usually. But really, I thought, no, the real reason is that we savour our food and we listen to our bodies to know when we're full or not.
You're right about that. Yeah, that is a real reason.
That's the real reason why we've always managed to stay quite fit and within the
normal weight range. Yeah,
health weight for our body type and our age.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I really do enjoy savouring everything. And if you ask me about something that I had, I'll remember the flavour.
Exactly.
I will remember the smell and the flavour of practically everything I eat.
Because we smell things a lot.
So we were
We
picking
sound like animals.
we were picking the melons this morning after we went to the bakery. Then we went to buy some fruit in the local fruit shop, and I just picked up this melon and I was like smelling it, sniffing it. And this man said, "Oh, this is this elderly man." He said they don't smell like what they used to smell
But it
like.
actually did.
It did. It had
did a
this
lovely scent of melon.
Yeah, it smelled of melon.
Gosh, I remember when I was in the UK as well recently, when I passed that fruit shop. Do you remember how delicious the fruit smell that was?
That's what I mean. You could smell the cherries. You could smell the fruit.
You can.
And smell is directly connected to your mind as well. And what you smell, you might remember smells, odors, the nice ones, even from your childhood.
Of course.
So it's quite a deep,
It's a very
rooted,
sensory
isn't it?
experience.
Yeah, so eating can become quite an emotional experience if you eat mindfully as well. If you savor, if you smell your food, you probably think, what are you doing? But even if you have a sandwich for lunch at work.
Well, when we were having those sandwiches, I wasn't enjoying them a lot.
What sandwiches? I can't remember.
In the UK again. In London.
In London.
Yeah. Some of them was rather sticky, but I did not like.
The ones that would stick to your upper roof of your mouth.
The tuna one was nice.
Yeah. But I mean, you can have some sandwiches, like here in Italy, they make some delicious
The
sandwiches.
Italian one, it does not stick.
No, with the mozzarella and the baked bread and the basil and the tomatoes, and you can taste everything.
Yeah.
So, even if it's just something like that.
Or even like a drink. I mean, I remember I had no, because I don't usually eat like the tramezzini, the little sandwiches that they sell here in Italy. I don't usually eat them.
No.
But I had one. It was absolutely delicious. And they had at the golf club where I go, they had a draft
beer.
I can't even say.
A beer.
So I had a little one, and even that, I was noticing the scent of it was so strong and fruity.
I was going to say the same thing. It was so fruity.
Yes.
The beer I had, I actually went for a pizza and I had a beer, and I thought, gosh, it smells of fruit. And what was it actually made of? Barley. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I'm showing my ignorance here. Yeah, it was.
Don't drink that much.
No, but it was malt and barley, and it was just. But I could taste it. Yeah,
taste and smell, and so I think that's the secret of it. Because if you taste and smell, and even if it's just a small beer or whatever you're eating or enjoying,
or drinking,
you actually enjoy it, not just
gobble it up.
Yes, not just gobble, gobble, gobble. Because when you gobble up, you can't. If you just eat something, also if you're distracted, if you're not actually looking at your food or doing, your brain will not actually assimilate that you've eaten that, and you won't have that feeling of being full either after it.
No, you
so
won't.
You'll just want to eat more, but without actually enjoying it.
No, because your mind is actually distracted. It's like when you eat popcorn and you're watching a movie. You would think that's a pretty simple and basic thing to do. However, the fact that you're eating the popcorn and your mind is watching the movie, something that you're probably really enjoying, you're doing two things at the same time. It's not really a good idea. Because you can't really fully savour the popcorn or the movie. Yeah, but it's such a normal thing, get the popcorn, get the snacks.
Because get the snacks to eat, so you'll eat more snacks and they'll make more money.
Oh, in the theatres, but I'm talking even at home, the habit.
Because that's the food industry, isn't it? They put two and two together.
Oh, yeah.
It's like diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah. It's a bit of a myth, isn't it? Not a myth, it's a bit of...
well, it's something that
it's been constructed
it's
by
been
society.
Made up. That's the same with food. They put two together. They stick food together with emotional
Another
and
pleasure
pleasant experiences so that you will become almost addicted to it, really.
Yeah, you're right.
And usually they're high fat and high sugars. They don't put carrots in
In the movie theatres, no.
or some
Or
of
an
little
apple or
tomatoes
something.
or apples or something healthy.
Apples might
salad.
make noise. Might be annoying,
If
but
they cut
so
up.
other things that you're
Corn
opening
makes a
and
hell of a noise, and crisps and things.
yeah, they do make a noise. Yeah.
But anyway, that's not to take the joy out of
No,
having
no.
popcorn out
It's lovely.
when you have a movie. But
Yeah.
I would suggest you have it in the break and just
Yeah.
eat it, mindfully and actually enjoy
Taste it.
Taste
Yeah.
it and enjoy it.
Yeah. I think the fast food industry, with the fact that it's actually called fast, kind of has done something to us all, really.
Probably because it's called fast. You're right.
Well, yeah, because it's like fast, and
Quick,
it kind of like words do influence
down.
us. Yeah, so it's kind of quick. Just grab something really fast and then go on with your day. I mean, you can eat fast food really mindfully as well and really taste everything in a hamburger or whatever you're going to be
Thinking about
eating.
that story we wrote,
Yeah,
Gobble Me Up.
gobble me up. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, you actually wrote that story, didn't you, in our books? Yeah, one of our
about
books.
fast food.
Yeah,
Fast and quick.
fast and quick,
I'll
and then
pass through you and leave you. I can't remember how it goes exactly. I have to put it. I'll put it in the description. I'll write it.
Yeah, write it in the description. That was quite pungent, wasn't it?
It's very pungent.
Because it sort of like festers within you.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to the discussion of how if you savour your food, you savour your life, I think it becomes a bit of a habit. You start eating slower, you start becoming more aware of what you're eating, and it kind of spreads out into different aspects of your life, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Because you become mindful of one thing, which is your food, the food that enters your body. You also start becoming more mindful of other things that are happening around you.
Your environment.
Yes, so you might...
Relationships.
Nature, you might start noticing, like, the old saying of take your time and smell the roses. You might actually go and smell a rose.
Well, you might notice that there's roses there.
Yeah, and you might actually go and smell one if you're not allergic. And enjoy the perfume.
I was again, because I'm learning golf. I was at the golf club and I was walking, and my hubby was saying, "Come on, you walk so slowly on the golf course. You normally walk so quickly. You're walking so slowly." And I didn't think I was walking that slowly. He goes off at my very quick.
Very quick.
But my son said to me, "Mum, you walk slowly because you want to enjoy the scenery and look at the roses and enjoy it." And I said, "Gosh, you're so right. It's so beautiful.
It is
there."
beautiful there, yeah.
I
It's
said,
amazing.
I love it. I just want to see the trees and the roses and just the scenery, and that's
the nature,
why, the nature, and that's why I walk slowly. But I mean, I wouldn't really have noticed that's why I walk particularly slowly.
No, you realised it.
I realised I was savouring it. I was savouring that moment.
Yes. So even if you just start off with one simple thing, like just the next meal you have, notice the flavours, notice the smell, notice the feeling, the texture as it enters your mouth and touches your tongue. You start noticing these really small things can really make a difference to your entire, the way you live your life, basically.
I'm thinking as well of
It's
that
a discipline,
famous
isn't
film. It was like an indie film called Babette's Feast, and it's how this lady comes into this Nordic community, into a little house that's very Spartan, and they just have broth, basically bone broth or something every day. They have like a gruel every day. And she was like a French. She had all the French cuisine. I don't remember. I can't remember if she was French or not, but she had all this. She was a very famous chef in where she came from, and she prepared this
the
feast,
spices
and they went. First of all, there's a reaction of, no, I don't want to. This is
eat
not
foreign
good.
foods.
Yes, it's weird. But then as you watch, as the film evolves, you watch how their body change. It's giving me the shivers actually, because how the sensory experience of it was just something so foreign to them that they'd never had before, that they were so like blown away by it in all aspects of their lives, of their love lives, their everyday life, their appreciation of things. That it's a very beautiful film actually.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched that. I'm
You
going to
probably
watch
haven't
it.
seen it. It's
I'm
got
going to search for it.
So
Wow.
be ready to read.
Yeah, I'll be ready to read. I like films with subtitles. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Sometimes I don't, but
Depends what mood you're
yeah,
in.
it depends what mood. But
But if you
I
want to
know it,
savour it,
I will savor it.
I think you might find it on YouTube now. Babette's Feast.
Cool.
I mean, it's a very slow film. You have to be in the mood to savour it. But it's a beautiful film. It's very well filmed.
Wow. I'll definitely watch it. Cool, yeah. Those kind of things really can make a difference, you know. That I think that's why when you actually go to a restaurant, you might be in that right kind of mindset. You think, I'm going to a restaurant. There's a chef that's going to prepare, and that's when you might think, I really want to taste the food. Mind you,
I think you have to go to like one of those really posh restaurants that you spend an absolute fortune on, and then you might all that nouvelle cuisine, and you taste a little bite, and then you might be more on that mindset because I've never really been to one of those really, really.
I went to one once. It had this red door, and it was like, really made a real statement about the door.
Particularly.
And it was like with a famous chef, and then it was all tiny, tiny bites.
Was it nice?
It was delicious, actually. I remember like even just some little lentils in this like little, like lentil little ball made some kind of little delice, and it had this little lentil sprout on the top of it. Really? It was like one tiny little ball, and my husband was going, "What the hell is this?"
It's a big plate of pasta.
Yeah, he was moaning, and I said, "Let's just taste it." And then when you taste it, you thought, "My God, it was incredible." It was one tiny. Obviously, you don't go to these places when you're feeling really hungry, and you want like comfort food. However, it was an experience. It was definitely an experience. But yeah, I say even if you're not going to those, weird places,
when you're just having a bite of pasta,
definitely a bite of anything you're having. Because I'm always telling my husband that he's a gobbler. He'll gobble anything at incredible velocity. I see him and then he looks at my plate, so I say, "No way. Don't you gobble up your plate and see what's left on my plate." So
I like the way when you're out, he always says, "You order for me. I don't want anything. You order something, and then we'll share it." Or sometimes he says, "We won't share." No, I don't want anything. I mean, he's trying to look after his weight.
Yeah, but that's
only then he'll eat your stuff. Give me a little bit of that, he
Exactly,
says.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's because when we're out, normally we have the hotel bed and breakfast. Not bed and breakfast, I mean the breakfast. And that's very, normally it's a buffet breakfast, and it's quite abundant.
I've noticed even when it isn't that, even when we're in Italy and there's no buffet breakfast, he'll do the same. He always wants to eat your food.
I tell you, it's an issue. Because I savour my food, and I'm savouring it, and I can really taste it. And whereas he gobbles it up, I say, "You've already gobbled it. Was it nice?" "Yeah, it was okay." "What was it like?" "It was good." It's very basic. I'm not saying he has to verbalise it. For goodness sake, you can enjoy your food and that's it. But at least if it was good or not. You can tell me. I think most of the time he really doesn't, it's not really aware of whether it's even good.
No, and it's like the habit as well of watching TV.
And he is overweight. Yes. He's overweight, yeah.
And he's struggled with his weight a lot, hasn't he?
Always. Yeah.
And, my hubby does the same. He gobbles really fast.
Yeah.
He says it's because he was one of 5 children, but there was always plenty of food at his house.
Maybe he's right, though.
Maybe there was more of a but he was a little one, so a lot of them had left by the time.
I think that's a bit of an excuse, but it could be.
But anyway, he hasn't struggled with his weight because he does so much fitness.
Lean, yeah.
No, he does, because I think also blessed maybe genetically, but also because he does a hell of a lot of running and fitness and
yeah,
things.
Definitely.
But otherwise, I think he would probably have more problems.
Yeah.
Because he does gobble fast.
Gobblers tend to not be aware of what they're eating and the quantity that they're eating because they're
And
gobbling.
they don't learn. I mean, I don't want to go back to him. To my hubby again, but like he'll overeat and he might get a tummy ache, and then he has got better now, but if he sees something he really likes,
He'll go for it.
He'll go for
He'll
it
gobble
and
it.
overeat and then gobble it fast without realizing how full he is, and then he'll get a tummy ache from it.
Yeah, that's a bit of paradox, isn't it? Because you would think, why? It's a bit of an enigma, I mean, for me, but I understand the reason is
I
quick
think
satisfaction,
I
and
think
then
if you-
even though you regret it afterwards.
Yeah, but I think if you eat if you don't take the time to smell the roses or savor your food, the same thing will happen, that you won't have that. Your body will not have time to say, "Hey,
to understand what's
I'm
happened.
full. I've had this sensory experience. I've had. Hey, that's enough now. You can stop. I've been satisfied."
Totally. Yeah, I've exactly. Yeah, already from the smell, I understand that something good is coming. Like,
Yes.
I mean, I remember walking home from school.
Oh, yes.
And our mum used to bake us the most. She was a wonderful baker, I was going to say, because her baked goods were delicious. She would make homemade bread and apple pies. She learned how to make the best English apple pie ever, even though she was Spanish. And cakes and everything. So I remember coming home from school, right at the end of the road, almost, I could start smelling the anticipation of those delicious bread with the butter on it, whatever it was that was coming, the goodness that was coming. So I think if you can, learn to use that sense of smell, it can really help you savor. Definitely. And you remember it afterwards.
You do, because there's nothing. I think it's sad if you can't remember what you've just eaten, because it means that in life you're just kind of rushing through life without actually really
Forcing the stop, the pause button for one moment.
Savouring any of your experiences properly, always on to the next thing. I think that's why so many people struggle with anxiety and with the feeling that there's not enough time as well.
Yeah.
In this
I think you're right.
We have.
Yeah, it's like that other film with the remote control, that he was so rushed and busy in his life that he just kept on. He had this like magical remote control. I don't know if
I think I've seen it.
And he would fast forward all the things he didn't like, he didn't have time for, like his kids' bedtime. Fast forward it, a meeting, his wife talking or nagging to him about something, quick fast forward it. And then he jumped ahead like 10, 15 years, and he suddenly looked back and he thought, gosh, where did my life go?
Exactly.
What did I do? I was just fast forwarding all these moments in my life. I think we all do that to a certain extent. We do have, like in our mind, this fast forward thing. We want to jump ahead of time all the time, as if we're time travelers, without realizing that only here and now is what's really important.
I know.
But we all want to do that,
I think it's because we're amazing as human beings that we can do that.
We can imagine the future, yeah.
But I think if you imagine the future and you imagine eating something delicious and then you go and eat it, you're going to have double the benefit of it. But
pleasure.
But if you're always imagining ahead of yourself and always racing ahead without actually appreciating what you're doing now, that's different, really, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's different to
and
actually
that's
anticipating pleasure.
Anticipating pleasure is one of the best things. It's like going on a date night.
Yes.
Even if it's with your husband, with your wife, with whoever it is, you have that kind of like programmed, and so you're gonna you anticipate the pleasure, you're anticipating having a good time, whatever, and that heightens the experience, because
because you're in the moment.
Unless you're not in the moment, and then you don't even realize it. Well, you're not enjoying
You're not
it.
enjoying it then, are you? If you're always going on to the next. And that's why a lot of going to say a lot of marriages fail as well, and a lot of relationships fail because people are always ahead, looking for what's better, the grass is greener, instead of being in the present moment and actually savouring what you actually have and feeling gratitude for what you actually have as well.
Feeling gratitude, you're right about that, yeah. I think also if you look at the food and you feel grateful for the food that's there, for the nature that created it, for the person, the whoever planted it or whatever it is, you know, cooked it, baked it, then that also enriches the experience.
Well, it's made with a lot of love, food, isn't it?
Definitely.
And it comes from
a lot of hard work as well. And, you know, like you eat a piece of bread that's been, you know, made in a bakery and you think, gosh, there's somebody that actually got up like at 3 o'clock in the morning to make this bread and prepare it. And then, you know, so I can go and buy it in the morning. You know, that's pretty amazing. That person who made that, I know it's a business, but they made it because they enjoy making it, because they need to make it, whatever it is. They made it for me.
It's lovely to feel grateful for that.
It's a gift in a way.
It enriches us a lot.
It does, yeah. Definitely. It can really enhance your life if you think like that. In every single way. You start by tasting the next piece of food you put in your mouth.
I'm looking forward to that donut.
Are you?
But we've also got some nice fresh vegetables.
I was thinking about those cherry tomatoes I tasted yesterday, and I actually thought, delicious. Yeah, they're like little red berries. You know, they were so tasty. I had them cold from the fridge, and I
little treats.
They were little treats. Yeah, they were. I thought, gosh, these taste so good.
We've got a caprese for lunch, so that's nice. So that's mozzarella with basil and tomato.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I love basil and all the herbs. Because they're sensory as well, aren't they? The smells that come from it's intense.
Of growing it as well. I've got a little plant on my balcony. So in the garden, but that one died.
Yeah.
I've got rosemary.
Even water has different tastes. If you have.
I noticed that when we were little, we went to Spain.
Yeah, the water tasted different.
It tasted different to the English water.
The minerals, you know, the taste different.
I know. It's
incredible.
Amazing.
Everything has its own taste.
Well, thank you for savouring this episode of our podcast. And we look forward to hearing from you. Let us know what you're going to savour next. And if you are gobbling your food, or if you're savouring it, or if you're going to change your habit, start slowing down and savouring. I mean, we highly recommend it.
Oh, definitely. It definitely enriches your life. You can still go around and have a really busy schedule, but you can still have the time to savour your food. It's just a few moments, really.
Love and smiles from the English sisters. Bye for now.